The administration under fire over making a troubling change to America's list of foreign terrorist organizations. Secretary of State Antony Blinken announcing he was removing Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels from the U.S. list last month. And now one former state lawmaker and political activist is calling on Blinken to reverse that decree. In a new op-ed you can read on Newsmax.com, the headline tear here says, quote, President Biden's State Department must reinstate Houthis terrorist designation. The author of that piece, Bryan, Leib, joining us live to discuss here. Bryan, good to see you. You would be the man to talk to about this. Why would the administration make this decision?
Sean, thanks for having me back on. And first of all, a happy belated birthday to you, Sean.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Of course. Of course. The decision, by Secretary Blinken, seems to be a recurring theme that's coming from him and his office. They say one thing and do another thing. And with regards to, lifting the FTO designation against the Houthis, it sends a strong message to one person in the region, that being Iran. The fact that, they're loosening this terrorist designation only, helps to embolden Iran and hurt our allies. And, Sean, while Secretary Blinken, before, during, and after, him revoking this designation, the Houthis were launching ballistic missiles into Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is one of the U.S.'s strongest and most long-standing allies in the region. So what's the message that we're sending to our allies if we're revoking terrorist designations of known terrorists that are looking to target and kill other people? It has to stop. And that's why I wrote the piece in Newsmax, calling on Secretary Blinken to immediately reverse his actions and reinstate the Houthis as an FTO, a foreign terrorist organization.
When you wrote that op-ed and you made that call to Antony Blinken, what specifically do you want him to do? And how do you think that message would be received?
It's very simple, Sean. I want him to put the Houthis back on the FTO list. They're a terrorist organization, so we should treat them as terrorists. By lifting that terrorist designation, he did it under the guise of wanting to help the Houthis with humanitarian aid. And when monies are flowing from the United States government into that region, they're now flowing directly into the Houthi rebels. So, we're hoping that the money will go to helping the people of Yemen in the region. But do we really think that's going to happen? Can we really trust terrorists to make sure that foreign taxpayer dollars, American taxpayer dollars, get into the right hands? No, we can't trust them at all. And that's why I'm immediately calling for Secretary Blinken to put them back on the FTO list. And it'll send a strong message to all of our allies in the region, and especially to Iran.
Right.
We are not playing games with Iran.
Well, let me just put this out there to cover both sides. The defense from the Biden administration saying that they needed to do this so that they can provide humanitarian aid to that country. Do you buy that?
Not at all. As I just stated, I don't buy it whatsoever. There's certainly, I think, other ways that we can help the actual Houthi people, with our support. But I mean, just think about it for a minute. We're sending money to Houthi rebels, and we're hoping and praying that that money gets to the actual people. It's not going to happen. Terrorists don't work that way. Terrorists don't operate in wanting to actually help the people. You see it all throughout the region, in the Middle East and Israel. Anytime U.S. foreign aid dollars flow through to these terrorist organizations, the money never actually hits the people that need it the most. And that's a real shame. And, I really think we need to reverse this decision. Again, I think it sends a strong message to Iran that we are not here to play games. I think that's probably one of the most important things that we have to be doing right now.
All right. This is Bryan, Leib. We appreciate your time, Bryan. Good to see you. And again, thank you for the birthday wish. I appreciate it.
Of course, Sean. Many more. Happy birthday.